Once upon a time, in a small village at the foot of a great mountain, there lived a young man named Elias. The village was simple, with humble homes and quiet people who worked the land and lived without much ambition. But Elias was different. He dreamed of climbing the great mountain that towered over their village. The elders warned him that no one had ever reached the summit. The path was treacherous, the air grew thin, and many had tried but failed. Still, Elias could not shake the thought from his mind. He wanted to push himself beyond his limits, to see what others could not. One morning, with nothing but a small bag of supplies and a simple rope, Elias set out on his journey. The first part of the climb was easy. The sun was warm, the path clear. But as he climbed higher, the air grew colder, the rocks sharper. His muscles ached, his breath came in short gasps, and doubt crept into his mind. He thought of turning back. The village was safe, familiar. Why suffer? But then he remembered why he had started. He wanted to prove to himself that he could go further than he ever had before. Days passed. The climb became harder. The wind howled, the ground beneath him unstable. More than once he slipped, barely catching himself before falling. His hands bled from gripping the sharp rocks, his legs trembled with exhaustion. At night he shivered in the cold, his body begging for rest. But every morning he forced himself to stand and climb again. He knew that if he stopped, he would never reach the top. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Elias reached a narrow ledge. Beyond it, the mountain rose steeply, nearly vertical. His heart sank. This was the barrier that had stopped all the others. He had no special tools, no training. Just his will. For a long time he sat there staring at the impossible wall of rock. Then, with a deep breath, he began. He dug his fingers into tiny cracks, his toes searching for any small ledge. Inch by inch he pulled himself up. His arms burned, his vision blurred from effort. More than once he almost lost his grip. But he refused to let go. He knew that falling meant failure, and failure was not an option. With one final desperate push, he pulled himself over the edge, and there before him stretched the summit. The view took his breath away. The entire world lay beneath him, vast and beautiful. The sky was a sea of stars, the land below peaceful in the moonlight. In that moment, Elias understood something important. The mountain had not been his true enemy. The real struggle had been inside him, his fear, his doubt, his own mind, telling him he could not do it. But he had pushed through. He had gone beyond what he thought was possible. When Elias returned to the village, the people looked at him differently. He had done what no one else had. But he knew the truth. The climb had not been about strength or skill. It had been about refusing to accept limits. Life, he realized, is full of mountains. Some are made of rock, others of hardship, fear, or failure. But the way to overcome them is the same. You must take the first step, then the next, and never stop moving forward, even when every part of you wants to quit. Years later, an old man in the village asked Elias how he had done it. Elias smiled and said, "The mountain does not care if you are strong or weak. It only cares if you keep climbing." And so the lesson remains. To push yourself beyond your limits, you must first decide to try. Then, no matter how hard it gets, you must keep going. Because on the other side of struggle is strength. On the other side of fear is freedom. And beyond what you think is possible lies the person you were meant to be. The story of Elias is not just about a mountain. It is about you. Every day, you face challenges, some small, some great. But the choice is always yours. Will you turn back, or will you climb? Will you accept your limits, or will you push beyond them? Remember this, the only true limits are the ones you place on yourself. Break them, and you will find a strength you never knew you had.